Sharelun Takai Orun Belun Shakar Inkai Varoritri Elun Kaishara Tesura Valorin Temariso Nashai Lunkai Maru Sheliat Kayo Shalom Shari Soraya Malik. Good day, collective. Shalane Dukai. We have got to protect our kids. Like, this message is so strong personally for me, but I just see kids, especially these kids coming up in all of this mess, y'all, today, who've only known chaos. Like, we've got to protect them not just from harm that's external, but what's in the household, in the world, in the music, in the shows, in the streets, in our communities, on the news, on social media, from the distortion, from the illusions, from the lies, from the programming, from the generational harms, and most importantly, from ourselves. They are watching us. They are learning from us. They are becoming us. And what we don't want is for them to become us. If we have trauma and generational curses that we have lived out in our lives through the bloodline that we did not heal, we don't want them to live a life being us. We want them to live their lives being better than us, more healed than us, more grounded than us, more safe than us, more secure than us, happier than us, more evolved from us. Today's word is we have to protect our children. All praise to the Most High God. Love to the mother. The world is full of lies and distortion, and you have to use discernment. They deserve the truth. They do not deserve our silence, like how our ancestors have done. I think about how I would have been if my mother had shared with me what happened to her and how I could be better and how I could work to heal those things. I think about what would happen if my father, and he did talk to me later on in his life, but earlier in my life, he talked to me about metaphysics and other things, but if he had gotten vulnerable and talked about the things that happened with him and his father, so that they would not carry on the trauma that had been done to them and then pass it to me. Because if they had talked to me when I was younger, then I would have known the things about myself that had been passed on to me from them, so that I wouldn't have passed on that trauma, that pain, that hurt, that suffering to my children. But guess what? I am talking now to them so that they can make better decisions and we can stop this generational curse. Our kids deserve safe places. They deserve parents that are committed to healing and being better, even if they've made mistakes in the past. And so I really mean that, because all we have right now is the present. So if you are one of these parents, and this is applicable to you, be real with yourself. Identify the issues if they're coming to your attention about the things that you might have inherited from your parents, or things, the traumas, the things that happened to you that impacted you. But we can heal right now. We can make better decisions right now. We can establish boundaries right now, and our children deserve that. It took me 40 years to really understand the importance of having a stable living situation. One not full of chaos, one not full of poverty, one not full of lack, one not rife with addiction and arguments and separation and silence and naivety. Like, well, growing up, no one really, first of all, no one talked to me about it. So it became normalized for me. Living in that state of dysfunction became normal, and I became comfortable in that. So I just didn't know any better to even to know not to do that to my own kids. How that would wreck their central nervous system. How that would strip them of their feeling of safety and security. That it would rock their foundation of being grounded as individuals. No one told me, and I didn't have any role models. I didn't have any good examples of how a loving, caring, supportive environment, like where people could be themselves, be safe, be loved, be cared for, like without drama, without arguments, without fights, without people screaming, without addiction. I didn't have that example. And while I myself haven't done been horrible to my kids, or didn't have addictions, I allowed people in my close proximity to us who did do those things, and they did it to me. And because I allowed those things to happen to me in front of my children, young women, at least one of them, internalized that love means pain. And she developed a rage towards men. For her, it meant that love means surrendering and lack of control to abuse. And she decided she's not going to take any of it, but she went the complete opposite direction. Do you hear me? Of it. So now she's like too extreme, and I'm trying to bring her back to the middle because I am healing. But I have explained to her what's different about you is I actually am honest with you. You can see what's wrong. When I was growing up, no one talked, or they brushed it to the side, or they ignored it, or they made excuses for it, or they protected the people doing the wrong. And I refuse to do that now. And I implore you to do the same. You know things are going on around your kids that they're being exposed to in your household. Do everything in your power, step by step, day by day, to take those things on and to not make excuses, even if it's a biological parent. Even if you're in a marriage, to hold people accountable and to really stand on that. This is so important because we just don't raise them. We program them, y'all. Guard their spirit. Be their light. Show them that life can be good and that it has meaning and that there is joy and that there is peace and that there's satisfaction and that they have all the potential in the world. Be the ancestor that they talk about that built the foundation for a healthy, thriving family with positive relationships, positive connections. Be that foundation. Help them be rooted in this earth, rooted in your legacy, rooted in the community, so that they can then be grounded in that and build out from that for your legacy and your family that will affect the community, that will affect the world, that will bring in the new earth. I hope that this message is helpful and that it resonates for you. I love you. And for, or else Shalene Dukaya, I'm learning Syria Faye. Any new subscribers, please join the family. For those of y'all rocking with me, I love you. Peace. Have a good day.